The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and you are here live for Deep Astrology, your weekly astrology forecast for the week of December the 24th through December the 30th of 2019. Thank you so much for being here. If you have never watched the show before, this is a show that is exclusive to highvibe.tv. Make sure that you check out our awesome apps that are free, of course. And if you subscribe to them, you get awesome exclusive content like Deep Astrology, this show, which you get the full version of it with the charts. Today, we are giving it to you full for the holidays as a gift. But make sure that you are a subscriber so you get this show always every week where you can watch live, and we have a chat room now on highvibe.tv on the website, and you can access it from your mobile web device as well on your mobile browser. But we also have the awesome apps too, and with all the notifications that go out as well. Also, I want to say that, this Deep Astrology show is always about channeling the astrology in its true depth. And then, of course, we go into the charts, which are brought to you by Astro Gold on iOS, Android, and you can get it on any Mac device. And of course, if you're on PC, check out Solar Fire. The show is also sponsored by the W Bros, and these are the amazing jewelry that you can get for all of your different zodiac signs, for necklaces, for rings. I'm always wearing my Leo ring, baby. Woo! Make sure that you check it out, thewbros.com. Make sure you put in my discount code LK10, and it's an awesome gift idea. I know people might be having last minute gifts. You can get the gift even though you might not get it shipped for Christmas, but you can be like, here's the receipt. You're getting it coming in. It's in gold, rose gold, and sterling silver. Make sure you check it out, thewbros.com. Now, we have an amazing New Year's Eve event that's going to be happening here at the High Vibe TV studios. I was just saying this on the daily that I recorded yesterday. It's like when it comes to New Year's Eve parties, everybody goes to all these different places. This is a 10-hour event. We are doing everything from, I'm doing a 3-hour lecture called The Era of Providence. I don't know if you've all seen on my YouTube, but I have The Age of Deception. I have Rising Through the Darkness. I have all these long lectures that I do, and every year I always bring out a major lecture. Sometimes it takes a couple. Last year we did the USA tour, which of course all those videos are available on YouTube and on the app to watch for free. But this is going to be a special event. We're going to have Jax Atlantis here, who's of course part of High Vibe. We got Dylan, the Spirit Advisor. We have special guest Stargirl, the Practical Witch. We have Dr. Steven Schwartz. We have so many awesome people that are coming together for this live event. If you can't make it to the physical event where you can have tickets, we're going to have a champagne toast. We have food. We have Vive beds. We have a Lotus tent. I'm going to be doing VR. We're going to do live spiritual dance music here. It's going to be an amazing event. So if you want to make it and you want to come out, I know it's like a week away, but if it's on a whim and you want to spend New Year's Eve and have a spiritual, amazing party with us here at the High Vibe TV studios, please check it out at highvibe.tv. You can just click on the link at the top. We also have live streaming available. So if you want to live stream the event and you get the recording as well, if you want to ask questions during the Q&A, we're going to have an exclusive Q&A with Stargirl, the Practical Witch. That's going to also be part of the live stream, and you can be part of the chat and ask questions that I'll be asking her directly. And of course, audience members that are VIP get first dibs on those questions, but you will be able to be in the chat, and I will be picking questions to rapid fire at her. I'm also doing a talk with her as well about astrology and tarot. Jax is doing an amazing talk. The Spirit Advisor is doing an amazing talk. And then Dr. Stephen Schwartz is doing an amazing talk, and he's going to be doing some awesome stuff with his frequency work and his binary beats, and there's gonna be so much going on here. And then of course, spiritual dance music. We do have a trailer for you to watch real quick, and then let's go into deep astrology. Well, welcome back to Deep Astrology here on highvibe.tv. Thanks so much for watching that trailer. Again, we'd love to see you at the event. You can get live stream tickets or physical tickets. We also have VIP options. Just go to highvibe.tv. You can click on the 2020 event, which is right at the top. You won't miss it. Now let's get down to this astrology. This is the week of all weeks. I've been telling people for years about this week. We have a solar eclipse in Capricorn on Christmas Day if you're on the West Coast, on the 26th anywhere else in the world. This is very major. This is a major turning point in life, because we are now in Capricorn. This is where the South Node is. This is where Saturn and Pluto are a degree away from conjunction point, which are happening, of course, on January the 12th. We are now in a major fated moment. This next couple weeks are going to be the most intense you've ever felt in your life. This is destiny, whether you call that calling. I'm calling it now the stepping into the era of providence. This is a major, major week. Here on Tuesday, we're finishing up a dark moon in Sagittarius. We've got the sun in trine to Uranus. And so right before this big solar eclipse, we've got this Uranus energy. And you have to remember that the new moon cycles over this last 5 months have been exactly since Virgo, been making exact aspects to Uranus and Taurus. We had that new moon in Virgo that was in trine to Uranus. We had that new moon in Libra that was in quincunx. We had that new moon in Scorpio that was exact opposed Uranus. We had that Sag one that was in quincunx, and now we have the trine again. So this is all like playing up since the end of summer. And all the events that have turned you into all this either advancement in your life and also showing you in where you're falling backwards into where you can move forward into better energy. And this solar eclipse in Capricorn means business. Literally, it is the sign of business. It is the sign of karma. And this is a lot of karma coming in for people in their lives because Jupiter, which is of course just moved into Capricorn, is going to be part of this eclipse. To have a solar eclipse exactly conjunct Jupiter with the south node next to Jupiter is going to be major because this is an implosion. This is an expansion. This is a massive, massive redefining of the perspectives, the way that we look at life, the way that we look at our understanding. You know, this is near the galactic center as well. You have to remember that this is a very, very potent spot in the astrology. And so this is about whether or not you are ready to open up your life and take steps towards where more comfort truly is, which is in a better life. Uranus and Trine is saying that we need to move forward in Taurus, right? That Venus energy. And with Venus and Aquarius, which ironically enough during this eclipse is going to be making a quincunx to the North Node. It's like the connection to people, the connection to things that really make sense in our life that are going to bring us to the future we have to go towards. So even though Cancer is the North Node, and this is where we need to do, it's a loop cycle with the nodes, right? In order for us to really get the comfort we want in our life, we have to be in alignment with the people, with Venus and Aquarius in quincunx to that. We need to be in alignment with Saturn and Pluto about to meet for the first time since 1982 and 83 that dealt with being in Libra, relationships. There's so much about partnerships. There's so much about alliances. And even deeper than that, with this being in Capricorn, it's about advancing your life and stepping forward through taking steps, by taking action. It's a cardinal sign. And this solar eclipse is so major because it is happening as a South Node one. South Node eclipses definitely deal with letting go of things, purging things out. And with the dark moon in Sagittarius, with Mercury in Sag, you know, it's like there's a part of ourselves that's a little bit, you know, like, I don't want to say it in a weird way, but it's almost like we're kind of pushing things to the side with Mercury and Sag, just kind of like not wanting to see how dramatic and how intense it is. It's a natural thing in being a human to kind of subconsciously push very serious issues to the side, and Mercury and Sag has been doing that, but this dark moon right before Christmas, here Christmas Eve, you can feel it. Things feel off. Things do not feel in alignment fully because there's something bigger coming in our lives. This is going to be world event. This is going to be definitely dealing, and I don't know if you've been researching, but there's an asteroid that might hit Earth on Christmas. It's not even a joke. Go look it up. But it's interesting that we see in how there's so much energy in the world right now that doesn't want to like look at everything, or everything is kind of like, let's throw, you know, a Christmas tree in front of it and just not look at it. And I'm just being real that this is a moment in our lives where you can't keep throwing Christmas trees and wreaths, and we need to enjoy ourselves and we need to have those parts. So it's not about denying it, but it's about denying it in our spiritual existence, about the truth of the changes and the global changes and the changes in your life to truly get into your real alignment with your destiny. A solar eclipse is a major event because it is like radiation on Cancer. It like literally is just kabooming it, and with Jupiter on top, it is exploding Jupiter. Now Jupiter's at its fall position, and with Saturn being the ruler right now because it is dignified, the sun is here, this is where Saturn and Pluto are meeting up, so it's got that more extreme energy. Remember that Pluto is behind that Saturn energy and it is amplifying it. So this dignified aspect, and with Jupiter being in Saturn's house where it does not do well, and the solar eclipse on top of this, the sun doesn't do well here, the moon doesn't do well here, and Jupiter don't do well here, all three of them together in eclipses, your soul, your emotion, and more importantly, your future and where you believe and where your perspectives are they truly in alignment with where Saturn and Pluto are going to meet up here in the next couple weeks, which is a major destiny point. And you know, destiny points aren't the easiest because they're not easy to deal with, because they deal with having to make choices. And this is a time where, if there was any time in the whole time in the universe when it came to free will, if we want to call it that, it is now to put yourself in the best position that you can, because Capricorn is about getting to the top of the mountain. It is about getting into the better position. It is about getting into any kind of position in your life that advances yourself. It deals with hierarchies. It deals with so many things that about you and your life. You need to see if you are advancing your life life forward now or not. The comfort is needed, but that comfort, if it's attached to things that are pulling you down, that are not part of your destiny, that are not holding you to the truth of where you could be going in your life, with Mars and Scorpio that's made its big sextiles of Saturn and Pluto, Mars and Scorpio now is like the last bit of hope we have to make these major changes. This solar eclipse is not really well aspected. Uranus as well, if you think about it, even though it's in trine, let's be real, that's in its fall position. So you have Uranus in fall, you have Jupiter in fall, you have the sun and the moon not happy here. So this is like where it's like, where are you not happy and where is that hunger? Where is that happiness? And why aren't you taking that choice? This is a big portal this next 2 weeks. I always call it the fate train, beep, beep. But it's intense because this is your time. Because with Mercury this week leaving Sag, there's going to be a big reality check after this solar eclipse. It's going to come into Capricorn, it's going to square Chiron, and it's like, whoa. Oh, I see it now. Oh, and you don't want to deal with these kind of heavy wounds. One thing that we are dealing with is this solar eclipse, and with Jupiter is making a square to Chiron and Aries. So it is not looking the way maybe the way that you want it to look, but when you release to that and you look at the truth of what it is and you allow it to happen, it'll heal you. There is so much healing that could take process right now by actually doing the thing in which that you're so afraid to do. One thing about Capricorn is it deals with not so much fear, but the fear of you and your authority, stepping into your inner authority, stepping into the responsibility for yourself in your life. There's a major responsibility to put yourself in a safer, more, foundational place that's going to get you to where you need to go in your life. The world is about to go through the biggest changes you've ever seen over this next couple weeks. It is going to blow your mind. And literally, what is the solar eclipse on Jupiter? Blowing your higher mind. We also got Mercury, of course, that is coming towards all this energy, right? So with Mercury going to be at the galactic center this week, you are going to get the last glimmer of actual Hermetic Hermes, and he's going to get his ass slapped when Hermes comes into Capricorn and meets with Saturn and Pluto and the Sun on January 12th. So this is this moment where you are getting the downloads from Spirit. You're getting the downloads of what the universe is asking for you to see for your future. And it is pressure, because that pressure is forcing you to expand and forcing you to take action and forcing you to take responsibility. And up here on Christmas, Mercury's still in Sag with a dark moon. So it's almost like people are just kind of like subconsciously just not wanting to look at it. I don't want to look at it. They don't even want to look at the fact that if you type in right now on Google, December 2019 asteroid, every top story is going to say, just came out 5 hours ago, 8 hours ago, there is a freaking asteroid. Some of them say that it's coming so close to Earth that it's just going to skim it. It might miss it. They don't even really know. But there's a responsibility from a shadow part of Pluto with Saturn that is not being responsible and letting people know and pushing out, hope you have a great Christmas. None of the news anchors are at work right now. They throw on the second and third people, and guess what happens? None of the real news is getting out there because nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about in your life, in yourself. You don't want to talk about the stuff and the responsibilities that you have to step forward and make your life better and to get really in alignment with your life. Think of Capricorn like train tracks. If that train is not on the tracks and it's trying to go on the dirt, or it's trying to go on the snow, or it's trying to go on anything else, it won't even get anywhere. And you need to have those tracks laid in your life now. And we have the Sun and Jupiter conjunct. Just by itself, that's a great day. I love Sun-Jupiter aspects because the benefits are by taking action of responsibility and aligning with what you know is in alignment with your path. But if you're going to not use the solar eclipse in this Sun-Jupiter and you're not going to use this gift, it's ironic that the gift looks like coal. The truth is that coal is what's creating the energy in your life to get you to where you've always wanted in your life, and the happiness and everything that you've ever actually truly wanted and desired. And I think that's what's funny, is in such dark times, which it feels, or such times when we feel off, and especially with all this Capricorn energy, it deals with time. With Saturn and Pluto about to conjunct in the actual sign that rules time. Chronos is Saturn. Saturn rules time. Pluto is behind it. There is this other time system that you have to tap into in your life. This is something that I wasn't going to talk about, and I'm just going to say it real quick. You got to start thinking about alternate universes, alternate, whether you want to call that parallel universes, But there is something about time that we are all tapping into that is really weird. And this Saturn and Pluto is about that. And it's like in the old show Sliders. And if you never watched Sliders, I recommend. Go on YouTube and watch an old episode of Sliders. But they always had to go through a portal to get to the other reality to see if the next reality was the one that felt more in alignment with who they really were. And they kept jumping portals and jumping portals. But there's something to say about, this reality that you and I are talking in right now. If you're in alignment with where you must be and you're not afraid to step into it, then there's a portal that's going to jump you to the reality that is going to manifest and create the trajectory, the destiny that you were meant to be. I believe 100%, and I might sound like a kook, that the Egyptians, the Mayans, and everybody, they know about all this stuff, and they use these times to portal jump. I truly believe that. And I know when it comes to these alignments, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, this is the biggest alignment of our lives we've ever seen in our lives, period. We will never see it again. We will never see all this intense energy. And with Venus in Aquarius, you have to think about now whether or not you're really going to, when it connects to feeling happier, when it connects to partners, when it connects to feeling good in projects, that you need collaboration with energies that are in alignment with you fully. And if you're going to sit in energy that is not in full collaboration, that is not in full energy of what you really are, and you're going to hold on and you're going to let yourself, because Capricorn deals with having to take that responsibility and cut things and fire things when it's not there. But you could still be compassionate with Neptune. So we all have to be compassionate, but we all have to take our spots on our train. And we end this week and into the weekend with some really radical energy. Because after this moon comes out at Capricorn, remember this moon, after we have a solar eclipse and after the sun, Jupiter, the moon crosses Saturn and Pluto within 1 degree of them conjuncting. We've never felt that tight of a moon, Saturn, Pluto since the 80s. We've never felt it in Capricorn in our lives. So there's this week is just demand. It's a demand. It's an emotional pressure. It's an emotional choice that is extreme. And when it comes into Aquarius, it meets with Venus. And it's like, okay, we can go into amazing futures. We can go into amazing, beautiful places. But, there is that quincunx energy to the North Node. There is this energy saying that we have to do something now. We have to move into the future. We can't be afraid. And especially, we end the week with the sun on the South Node. And that's going to be on Monday, right before the new year. And I do want to say this, that there is something to say about this sun South Node, because Jupiter and the South Node are getting closer. Anything that you are being held back by belief systems about old traditions, old ways of how to look by the written way or the way that's unwritten rules, all these beliefs like are holding you back, that's going to be your downfall with the South Node there. You have to release those and let them drop in the bottom like a trap door and let them out. And with Jupiter there, it's a lot that has to be let out. It's the biggest planet. That's a lot of storage of belief. And the last time that we had Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto in Capricorn with a node that were in Cancer and Capricorn, even though it's flipped, was in 1282 through 1284. So you're dealing with subconscious belief systems about the way that we should be living life, the way that, what is responsibility and stuff, that you have to now go off more of an even ancient one, because we're resetting that one, and go with how the ancients did it. That this emotionally, intuitively is my destiny, and that's where I must go. And you cannot use these old world. And it's ironic, is the reason why we feel so different from ancient cultures is because we change in timelines. We change in cycles. That actually we are in more of a 1280 thinking than we are from an ancient one. And it doesn't make us ancient because we're so far away in time. We can become more closer to ancient by the way that we look at time frames and we look at time cycles, and we are connecting more to a time cycle that is from the ancient, that truly knows its path, that truly knows its awareness. And that's what this is about. And this is my biggest call to action ever to all my fans, to all the people that watch me ever in life. If you ever had a moment in your life that you want to make your life truly go into alignment, to jump into the timeline that you know you were supposed to be with, and to divine energy, divine intervention, divine unions, divine everything, this is where you have to make that mark now. That lunar eclipse that's coming in the next 2 weeks is not going to be friendly when it's in Cancer and it's opposing Saturn and Pluto. No, it is not going to be fun. Because you will have realized in the next 2 weeks, if you didn't make those choices here at the beginning, and especially halfway through all this, the sun's going to be passing the South Node. It's weak there. You got to let go of your old ego. There's an ego shedding. There's a major shedding of how you think that you're going to advance in your life by what you're holding on to. That sun is going to oppose the North Node in Cancer as well. And the moon, going to come into Pisces by the end of this week, going to make a nice sextile over to Mercury to kind of help it out while it trines over to Uranus. And we do get a moment by the end of this week where it's like, there is so much positive that can happen. There are so many great things that can go down. There are so many amazing things that we can have in our lives, but it's really or not whether or not we're going to do that or not. So that's the thing, is that's a hard one. So it's not easy. But it's going to be a time in our lives where we have to really not be afraid to step into this, because there is these minor less amazing aspects, right? These are minor. Oh, the moon in Pisces connects with Mercury. That's trining Uranus really quick. And then if you look at the astrology, it's just Mars finishing at the end of Scorpio, where that's extreme in the Phoenix rising. You want to take this energy and be rising, because when we come into the new year, it truly is going to be a new era of providence. And that's why we're doing the event right in the middle of the eclipses. Right, this is not a normal New Year's Eve. And you can feel it. This is not a normal Christmas. There is something that is disconnect, and you have to feel, why is it disconnect? Because your timeline is being called up like the DMV calls you up your number. And it's whether or not you're going to step up and you're going to take that test, and you can't be afraid to take that test, so you get the driver's wheel to the destiny of your life. Or are you going to sit back, get back into the car, have your mom drive you back home because you're not ready yet? Let's take a look at the charts. Huh? Oh, got you. I know, my brother's calling me, and he's obviously watching. It's like little brothers. I won't get mad at my little brother on Christmas. I do have 3 planets in the 3rd house. That deals with sibling quarrels. All righty. Oh, I think you're going to have to go on the computer and maximize it. How did everybody feel about what I just had to say in there? People feel like they're going to pass the test. All right. Let's take a look at the charts. A lot going on in these charts. Merry Christmas Eve, by the way. So here we are. Christmas Eve, December 24th of 2019. And we are in the dark moon phase. And this dark moon phase is very unique the way that I'm looking at it. One, this moon in dark phase, right? So remember, a dark moon is within 30 degrees from the sun and the moon, within. And this dark moon's crossing over Mercury. This dark moon also is squaring over to Neptune, right? So this is why Christmas Eve feels weird. You know, it's like emotionally trying to be positive, but there's other things on the mind. There's other things going on. The mind is searching for a million other places. Remember, Mercury's in detriment. It's searching the universe right now. Where am I going? Because Sun is in Capricorn, with Capricorn being, the Saturn being in there, and Saturn's out of shadow, by the way. Okay? So Saturn is full moving forward. You're feeling the full wrath, and it's coming within a degree this week of Pluto. Major choices that will change your life forever and your destiny, and it will be very intense. Also, you're starting to feel this South Node and Jupiter. Okay, this is K2 and Jupiter. This is where you're going to have to let go of the old body, right? So the body of the dragon, the head got chopped off. So K2 is the body. So we got to dump. It's like having literally dumping poop. Like of old beliefs, of all these old traditions. I need to do this because there's this unwritten law, and this is like what's to do, and yada, yada, yada. Well, this Mars in Scorpio is in semi-sextile to that Mercury during the dark moon. So Mars is pushing the dark moon into the solar eclipse. That's extreme if you think about it. We're getting a push from Mars in Scorpio. It's demanding us to force ourselves into this. We got Venus there at 5 degrees. It's done with the square over to Uranus. So this weekend during the solstice, we got a lot of energy. And I was talking about that. That was going to be a lot of intense energy about which direction are we taking in partnerships and projects and so much. There's like so much going on, trying to figure out so much. There's a lot of the soul is in a tizzy right now. Everybody's soul is in a tizzy. Where am I going? What choice am I making? What am I doing? Because this is, like this is the call. So let's go to Christmas. And I'm doing Christmas on 9:13 p.m. because this is when we are going to have the actual solar eclipse. So Christmas Day, that dark moon will leave and will come into Capricorn, and we have a solar eclipse at 4 degrees of Capricorn. And what's interesting to me with that is, look at that, it's within 1 degree of Jupiter. So there I'm talking about these three energies are not happy here. Jupiter's at its fall. The sun's just kind of neutral, but not happy because it's in Saturn's house, and the moon is at detriment. All right? So the trine, the positive aspect, is to Uranus, which is the only planet that is retrograde, and it is at its fall. So it is not strong on the points. And so this is where it's very difficult now because the moon has to listen to Saturn. He's in control. The sun has to listen to Saturn. He's in control. Jupiter has to listen to Saturn. He's in control. And even Pluto has to listen to Saturn. He's under his bidding. And Saturn's out of shadow. It means you're feeling it, and it's coming around major choice. And it's at 20 degrees, which I think is ironic because at 20 degrees is the exact degree where the lunar eclipse is going to be on January 10th. And 20 degrees and is the last decan of Capricorn, and 20 degrees has to deal with heavy emotional aspects. There's foundational element. And so this is extreme now. And so this solar eclipse is looking at Jupiter, your belief systems, and where are these old traditions that need to be cleared? Where are they? Because if you really think about this, and ironically enough, the Venus of America is at 3 degrees of Cancer. So Americans, it's like, who are you in alignment with? You want money, or you want to figure out your life, or you want to have a better life? It's about relationships. This is a crazy relationship time, especially for Americans. It's in opposition to Venus in Cancer, which America was born with. That's a whole other story. But this solar eclipse, though, at the same token, when you look at it, it is in a exact semi-square, 45-degree angle here with Mars. Okay? Well, not exact, actually. Hold on. That's going to be 24 to 30, 34. 40. Yeah, it is. It's almost semi-square. Yeah. Jupiter, Mars. So you got to count 45 degrees. So 24 to 30. I do it all by my head. So it's like, okay, to make sure. So we have 6 degrees there. Then we had 30. So we get 36. 36 plus, that's all Sag, and then we go all the way to Capricorn. So and then another 6. 36 plus 6 is 42. So yeah, that's a semi-square. So what's making that hard is Mars in Scorpio has wants, desires, and needs. But what is it? Our beliefs. The sun and the moon, this transformational experience, this revolution of belief systems, of understanding where we have to do. And Mars, it's dignified. It's in Scorpio. So we have to listen to Mars, but it's almost like the solar eclipse and Jupiter are kind of like, well, sun and Jupiter are like, what do you mean? We're the 2 biggest planets. We're the kings. Like, we don't want to listen. And the moon there is like, well, I'm hanging out with the 2 kings. I don't want to listen to that Mars and Scorpio, because that Mars and Scorpio is kind of like the Black Knight that's out there, to the kingdom. Like, oh, go out there and do it. But we have to actually listen to that Black Knight, because the Black Knight is saying like, listen, I just saw the monster coming. Think about that. I just saw the monster coming. Well, we'll be okay here. No, you need to make a choice now. That's what Mars is trying to do in this eclipse. But it's almost like people don't want to listen, especially Mercury's in Sag, and the page is kind of like drunk, lost, looking out at the universe, just kind of like, I don't know yet. I haven't got all my data yet. I'm still searching. So it's like, are you going to keep waiting on your mind to figure this one out, when this is about listening to, and it's weird and it's hard because Mars in Scorpio is so intuitive. It's intuitive action. It just knows. You could feel it, you could hear it, but you're like, that could be an earth tremor, or that could be a this. Well, no. It's like, this is where you make your choice. What is that ugly monster coming? The destiny you don't want. The things that are not part of your alignment in your life. Then there's another part where there's a road that Mars in Scorpio is trying to offer you, where, hey,
just go down this way. I already found the route. Because what does a black knight do? The knight goes out and does all the dirty work, but it does all the work that the kings are afraid to do. And the queen. The sun and the moon are the queen and the king, and they're together on this solar eclipse in Capricorn. And that semi-square is in a hard alignment. Plus, Mars is trying to push the page to give it data that might not be factual, but it's actual, intuitive, in the emotional knowing. Like, I saw it, I saw the footprints. I'm like, it's like, I know, and it's on its way. I can hear it. It was following me. And it's like Mercury and Sag is almost like, I need more info. Well, guess what? That south node is a delusion. And so that delusion on Jupiter as well is delusional beliefs, but it's not delusional beliefs about things that are actually of the true intuition. It's delusional beliefs on why you should keep yourself in jail. Why you should stay in something that you don't want to be in. Because Capricorn feels a responsibility to do things like, you must do this. We must do this. Why do you think if you see in governments now, it's all about what every side is trying to say is about what we must do. We must do this. We must do that. We must. But at the end of the day, we don't really know. That's the whole funny part about Saturn and Pluto. I thought we were just having a conversation, Abby and I in the back, about the Space Force that's coming out now, and then this asteroid and stuff. And it's like, nobody's talking about that we must go to space. Everybody's telling us about all these other things. But with SpaceX and all this stuff, there's something obviously going on. There's something going on out there in space. Now the American government has a sixth military outlet called the United States Space Force. And 18,000 troops from the Air Force that were part of the Space Exploration Division or Defense Division have become that Space Force. Automatically, instantly, that was signed into law last week. Brexit is happening. An impeachment of a United States president to move to the Senate to see if he's going to go for trial has happened. These are all people that all had Capricorn ready to go, plan set, because they know something. Pluto, their intuition, they're following. And they also probably have hidden knowledge, but in your life, you have seen everything. Why have you not acted fully upon it? I am talking to all of you. That now you must act upon knowing what you must do. I knew that I had to do the New Year's Eve event, no matter what. I knew I had to put out something more than a typical YouTube horoscope of what your 2020 looks like. I'm giving you the decade. And that this is a moment where you have to make your great stand. And you need to listen to that dark night, that truth, because it almost is like we are being cloaked with Saturn and Pluto to feel responsible to stay in jail and not listen to that black knight because he's a bad guy or something. But that Mars in Scorpio is not bad. It's dignified. You can never give a dignified planet a bad rap when it's the one that's trying to tell all this detriment, neutral, and more importantly, fall Jupiter with K2 in the south node on it. And even Saturn with Pluto's acting a little funny because Saturn's got some private detective that's giving him information all the time to do his DE, bidding. And this has to deal with time as well. Are you going to, part of jail is, are you going to encapsulate yourself in some sort of destiny or time system that you don't even want to be in anymore? Like some sort of situation that you're just like, I am just so over this. Why am I going to go keep playing this story? It reminds me of the Ten of Swords. Right? I'm going to keep doing this over and over again in my mind. Mercury. So Mercury's coming to this galactic center point during this solar eclipse. You will get a message. 26 degrees through 27 degrees is the galactic center, but Mercury is moving fast. And remember that Uranus trine. There's an exit. There's an exit of the jail. Take it on this solar eclipse. Don't put yourself through hell. Don't keep trapping yourself in some sort of responsibility you don't want to do. Why don't you use it the opposite way and be the responsible one that's going to step into your power and your destiny and what you know that night is pulling you towards, because that's the loop I'm talking about. North node in Cancer, south node in Capricorn. In order for us to get to the achievement and to the ultimate responsibility, we must put ourselves to the place where the foundation can hold that up first. You cannot hold up Capricorn unless you're emotionally satisfied. You cannot survive through jail without being emotionally comfortable. or having some sort of security or safety. But if you're going to ditch security and safety for actually what I would call as, I guess you could say, what would be the best word for this? Extreme attachment, like a baby to a mother's breast milk, or to the way that you're still afraid to get out of your crib as a baby, right? Or your first steps. It took me 18 months to walk. I was crawling until 18 months, and then the doctor told my mom, if he doesn't walk this next week, we need to, there's maybe something wrong with him. And you know what? I'm 18 months old. I don't remember hearing that. I don't remember the doctor saying to me that. It was obvious I went to the doctor. I don't remember. But something got told to me that I better step up and fucking walk right now, or I'm going to be that weirdo that's going to be at the fucking hospital with some sort of issue. And I it's just out of nowhere, just stepped up and started walking in that week. That's a true story. That is where you must think about life now. But you know what? There is no doctor telling you that you must do this in the next week, or there's an astrologer telling you that. Let's move to Wednesday. Very intense Wednesday. Or sorry, Thursday. Where's the time? December 26th. Right after the eclipse, the moon's still in Capricorn, and it's going to deal with this Saturn and Pluto, okay? But what's most interesting to me is there comes Mercury right after the eclipse to the galactic center. The original galactic center we were all born with was 26 degrees. Now it's moved to like 27, 12, something like that. But it's right on top of there. So we need to get that message. And the sun's going to conjunct Jupiter. And then the moon is going to be over Saturn and Pluto for the first time in this tight orb. Venus at 8 degrees as well is making an exact quincunx to the 8 degrees here. So now we're dealing with 8, 8, 8. Okay? Bang. Boom. All right. We also technically, we don't have, we're almost to some cool aspects, but we're not there yet. I also think what's interesting is Juno at 16 is making a quincunx to Neptune. So it's like, there is something to say about unions, divine unions, and there's a hard aspect here of understanding it, but also knowing. We got Chiron at 1, and the midpoint of Mercury and the sun is 1 degrees of Capricorn. And so this midpoint of the sun and Mercury it's almost like people don't want to deal with it because it's like their egos want to look a different way or wait for this opportunity when it looks right. It's like, we're close to Disneyland, so it's like, okay, Pirates of the Caribbean. Believe it or not, that movie is based off a ride. It's not some original movie that somebody just thought of, like Walt Disney made a ride of it, okay? And if you're ever on that ride at the original Disneyland, when you're going through the jails, there's these pirates in jail. And there's a dog with a key. And they're trying to get the doggy over to give him the key. Well, I'm trying to tell you that the key is showing up. Now, it might not show up the way that you want to. It's not going to be like, oh, here's your key. You know what I mean? Like, here's it on a pillow with, I think you wanted some hand sanitizer, and what else did you want? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be an easy looking situation to get where you need to go. It's going to look like, okay, the key is coming at least, but gosh, it was in the dog's mouth. It's dirty. Fucking use that key and get the fuck out of the jail. It's a lot better than taking a shit in a hole in a jail. And we're going to feel that pressure, and I'm going to show you all, because I ran the chart for you all to show you with the sun and Jupiter conjunction on Friday at 10:11 a.m. Pacific. Here we are. This is the key. The reason why, Mercury's exactly at the galactic center now. This is a major moment for your life because the sun Jupiter comes once a year. And this sun Jupiter is about expanding your life. And unfortunately, it's not happening in the most positive place. But it is happening at a time when we do have not only Mercury getting the message from the galactic center, but when you take a look at this chart, we do have the moon that's right over that Pluto-Saturn right before it. So hours before that Saturn-Pluto, or hours before the sun and Jupiter meet to conjunct. The two biggest energies in astrology are meeting, right? This is lighting up Zeus. Zeus's power. But with the south node there, you're going to have to get over the delusions that you're doing something wrong when you know you're doing something right, and the delusions that you're doing something right when you're doing something wrong. And the way that you determine that is by looking at how you feel about the situations in your life and whether or not they're on the right track or not, and whether or not that you truly feel that you're in alignment spiritually with your destiny and what is the message from spirit coming in. And it's very easy with Moon, Saturn, and Pluto. Wherever there has been abuse, wherever there has been control, wherever there has been massive attack, and no, not just the group, but massive attack on your life emotionally in a certain space, that's where not to go. That is the jail in your life, because this is not an easy aspect. And I believe that the events between tonight here on Christmas Eve to December 27th, we're going to see some gnarly shit. And it's going to be like, do not pay attention to that. Pay attention to where it feels good and go in that direction. That is the key, because at the same time, right, this Chiron energy is squaring that. We do have the Sun and Jupiter trine Uranus still. It's like, go towards the better energy. And I also think what's really interesting about it is this is a moment for us to not be afraid, because this moon in Capricorn is going to go through a lot. A solar eclipse, conjunct Jupiter, the south node, Saturn and Pluto occulting it all at once. That is a 3-day cycle of gnarly, I'll put it hell to heaven. Like, it's like, you, and we will see weird events, but we also ourselves need to take action on where we must go. Mars is demanding us, and Mars is dignified. The only dignified energies is Mars and Saturn now. Remember, we were in Neptune, and Mars, Saturn, and Neptune, with Mars and water and Neptune and water, we intuitively know. And with Saturn there, Saturn knows because it could see the long term. What's best for you in the long, long, long term? If you can't handle this thing for another month, let alone another week, let alone another even 1 year, it's not right. And that's, if you can see yourself doing it for 30 years plus, that's where you go. But if you can't stand it for another day, another hour, you need to get the fuck out. Straight up. This includes your belief systems, religions. This is South Node Jupiter in Capricorn. And if you use Vedic, it's happening in Sagittarius, and it's happening in the Nakshatra. I think it's Mula, right? It's Mula. I have my Jupiter here. I'm having my Jupiter return in hours on 7 a.m. Pacific on Christmas morning, which is a total breakdown, destructive kind of force. These are belief systems destructing. These are the things these beliefs that hold you from where you really want to go, where that Mars and Neptune are telling you, and that Saturn long-term is telling where you were to go. And that Sun, Jupiter, don't waste it. I've said for years, and I've said my whole life to people that I've been doing astrology, and I built the Leo King on a Sun, Jupiter day, and it's been wildly successful, and it keeps taking me on the journey of my life. Do not miss out on the doors right now. This is on the 26th and to 27th. And when we move to the weekend, there it is. Sun's off Jupiter, moon's over Venus, and we can have some sweet liberation if we've made those correct choices. Mercury's on the last day of being in Sagittarius, and it's about to come into Capricorn, where it's going to get real serious. So you want to use the flexibility and being able to kind of think on the fly, like Marty McFly on your little board, your little hoverboard, because this is going to be where this is about, where you can truly liberate yourself and feel good and know that you are comfortable with the choice you've fully made in your life of where this is going, because this next 2 weeks is going to be intense and gnarly. But as we get closer, that Sun on the south node, right? Look at this. Saturn now 21 degrees. We did not see Saturn 21 degrees this year, nor last year, of course, but now we have. And now it's within 1 degree. We've never in our lives had Saturn and Pluto that close. Even if you run the helio chart, Okay, if you run Helio, you'll see Saturn and Pluto really close, and they meet on the 10th during the lunar eclipse. And, you know, there's a lot of little ironies going on, honestly. Especially that Juno has just been stopped here at 15, 16 for weeks. But now with Juno at 16, it's moving on the other half of Libra, going into this higher side. And the moon in Aquarius is giving us this liberation. But, you know, that Mercury at the galactic center and finishing in Sag is the last bit of flexibility, because the flexibility is gone. We will have no mutable energy at all when we come into Sunday. None. Okay? Mercury comes into Capricorn. Bam. What does it square? Chiron. So we're dealing with a lot of very sensitive and hard energies of the way things look. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not trying to be Scrooge on Christmas. Jupiter is there, though, and it's about using the key out. That you choose to sit in hell or not. You choose to look into the devil's world or not by just sitting there and feeling responsible that you have to do something. Look at how Christmas works. I bet you there's a bunch of people watching me right now on Christmas Eve at their family's house because they're fucking bored. Some of them might not, but I'm just giving out that truth shit. Like I know I'm supposed to be at a Christmas Eve thing with my family right now, but the work comes first. Capricorn and my message and what I got to do. And I love doing this shit. I love them, but I also got shit to do. And this is the world that's changing in the belief systems. Like, I have to be there because this day on a fucking calendar says I must be there. Like, that's when you're supposed to go see your family, is when you have to. And that's where the ugliness lies, is like you going to spaces and putting your time and putting your energy away from areas where you might have more responsibility of your truth and what you feel and what you want to do in your life. And that's a fucking hardcore truth that I'm sharing right now. Somebody just wrote, I'm just here for the food. Exactly. So what gets intense is no mutable energy, right? None. It's now cardinal, action, fixed Aquarius. Fixed Aquarius is pretty crazy, though. You know, it's like fixated on the future. It's fixated on excitement. The mutable energy left is just Neptune. That's it. But it's an outer planet and it's way far away. That's just been around. That's a long-term generational experience that we're going through. But that's it. It's like, look at this Mars, though, at 26. Mars at 26 is going to square the moon on Sunday. So there is this kind of like, did you follow the Black Knight? Because then that moon will be excited, like, thank you got me that route out. Or, boom, the sun and the South Node are meeting, and then it's like, wow, I feel weak, or I'm trapped, or I'm this. And you know what? People are going to feel weak. And they're going to start tripping themselves out. Like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I don't feel this. This is a solar eclipse one. It's going to drain the fuck out of you. Okay? So I know it might seem like I'm rounding all up the truths, but you know what? The decisions that you need to make, whether they're in your soul or in your head, and strategize and be the best at it, because that's what Capricorn is. But it's like, you'll notice that things will just blow up in your face with Uranus and trine to this, with, you know, like it'll just come out of nowhere. But you have to have a strategy plan prepared for it, because it's almost like God's going to divinely intervene all the situations that you do not want in your life to happen anymore. And that could be a little bit scary, because it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready. Well, have an action-oriented plan when it shows up. But the one that gets me the most is that Mercury square over to Chiron, because we're dealing with the sun and Mercury that squared at the beginning of this week. We're dealing with, you know, the eclipse squaring Chiron. But this Mercury here is going to get that nice aspect to Uranus, which you'll see here on the last chart we're doing here for Monday. When you see this on Monday here, boom, December 30th, we got it. Mercury at 2. So it gets off Chiron, and it makes a nice trine over to Uranus. And look at the moon there in Pisces. And if anybody's watching and trying to text me, I would just ask if they please don't text me during the show. I would appreciate that. Not trying to be Capricorn, but I'm just trying to do the work. So this is a very important time right now because this moon, Mercury, Uranus is a godsend to believe in dreams, to go to better places, and to have a strategy and believe that you can reach there. And that's divine intervention that's coming through this whole week. We also get Mars at 27. These are the last couple degrees here where Mars gets really intense, especially in its dignified. And Mars is kind of pissed because Mars is going to not have the best time. Mars is going, I have to go through all that coming up. The warrior is like refueling in Scorpio, right? So Mars has 2 refuel stations, Aries and Scorpio. And it transforms here, you know? And it gets prepared for battle here, the adventure in Sag, and then it has to go through Capricorn where it gets dignified and do its greatest, biggest work. It's top of the chart, right? That's how it works. That's how astrology works. That's how Mars works. So Mars is a little pissed because it's like, fuck, this is a battle up ahead. This ain't no small little thing. Especially as Jupiter's going to be closer to Saturn and Pluto when Mars comes in. I mean, Mars and Jupiter with Saturn and Pluto, you're going to need to watch the event that's coming up on New Year's Eve. As I describe, I mean, just the first 3 months of this year are fucking insane. But if you look at Venus, it's really not aspected. That's what's weird. Whenever you see Venus not aspected, it's not even aspecting the asteroid. Like, it's just on its own. We call that just kind of like out of bounds. So by this point, like if you haven't made any choices or anything, this godsend is like, oh, it's like almost encapsulating how I showed you in last week's Deep Astrology, beautiful feelings, relationships and stuff away out of this situation. Like you got to remember that Aquarius is kind of a spaceship, like goodbye. I'm wondering if I could even cut that out, but yeah, I can. You know, like, yep. It's like taking Venus away. Oh, it won't let me cut it fully out, but yeah. But I'm going to finish with just looking at the camera. And I will let you know that this is it, folks. This is the time that you've been waiting for. This is the time where you're going to have to really show up. And you're going to have to show up in your personal life first. That's North Node in Cancer. Because now you have to make choices about your personal life. And what is true comfort? Is comfort dealing with hell, or is comfort dealing with getting on the path you know is right that feels like hell to go through the emotional issue? But with Uranus and Taurus, it's saying that if you know your value and you treat yourself with self-worth, you'll get the prizes. Santa is delivering coal from what it looks like, but it's actually burning the most amazing fuel of your life. I'm not an advocate for coal, by the way, or working for the coal companies and trying to sell coal. Fine. I guess Santa's delivering solar panels. But you need to go to a place where you can use the solar panels with the sun. That's even a better analogy. Or you're just going to be in a cloudy space and you're going to be in a jail, but you have these solar panels. It's like, I have these solar panels and you're trying to sell them in jail to get a cigarette. Well, what do they get? We don't even get sun here. I don't want those. I'll use that as my fucking bed cot, though. And I'll shit on you for it. You know, it's like, what? And, you know, I've been telling everybody for the longest time ever, you've got to take a look at the global events. There's no coincidence that the Queen resigned. Yes, she still holds the crown. By law, she must, but she's given all the powers over to Charles. I predicted that in my magazine. And Brexit happens right after that. Boris Johnson gets elected. Then the Queen does all that. Boris Johnson gets elected, and now Brexit's happening. There's this weird thing going on with Trump. And people, you know, it's crazy how people don't understand impeachment. But it's like, hello, it's going to trial now, but they will not send the papers over to trial. They're building another case with another impeachment now that they're trying to do. But why are they stalling? It's an interesting aspect of what's happening with the trade deals with China. The Beijing summit just happened, right? And Japan and China. And Trump's in renegotiation with all that. This is a world paradigm that's about to shift majorly. This is all about commodities. This is all about oil. This is all about major trade, about money, about where all that's going. But you need to look in your life. If you're like a country, think of yourself like a country. Like, are you aligning to make sure that you're going to go in the better place? And it might look crazy, right? So some people think like it's crazy for England to get out of the EU and then go work with America, right? It's like, what? Especially it's the irony that Americans used to be British and we defected and became independent and we fought 2 wars against them. But we also won World War II with them. We also have gone into Iraq with them, right? So there's like this, there's those weird turns with Uranus here in Taurus and with the solar eclipse. And about you placing yourself with the people and the situations that are going to take you to the best place, no matter who gives a fuck what people think. Uranus and Taurus doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks because it knows it's bougie. It knows that, like Abby for Christmas gave me my favorite cologne. And you know what? Fuck yeah, I love her so much. She's a Taurus. She knows. And if somebody were to be like, God, you're so bougie, you wear fucking French cologne, I'm going to be like, yeah, fucking that's the real shit. I don't care what you think. I know it smells good on me and it makes me feel good. That's where you need to start to place your energy in your life instead of placing it in this responsibility of like, you know what? I don't want to overblow people with my smell of cologne right now, so I'm going to not do it. That's like a typical Capricorn thing. Like I'm not going to overdress or I'm going to do it really conservative. This is where Pluto is redefining with the South Node and Jupiter and all this shit of this is a new territory. This is a new reality. This is a new world that is shifting. This is a complete new set of rules. This is a complete new set of traditions. This is a complete new set of what class is considered. This is a new, even the class system, the hierarchy system. And it's connected to money. And it's connected to Uranus and Taurus. It's also connected to global events that are going to shift us to project people into sheep or not. My Destiny Call video is still available. You can get it on highvibe.tv. I cover it from especially to January 12th. But it's the buildup to all this and to align yourself. Because if you do not align yourself by January 12th, and that's like the last call, right? You know, but like this is right now. This is the portal. This is happening as we are talking right now, live on your Christmas Eve. This is no joke. This is not just another day to just go sit at home with the family, open the gifts and go, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life when I get back to my life. No, you fucking know. And you must do it because if you do not get on this train, if you do not get on the train of your life that you know is divine to you and you get out of jail, then you will be in jail. Because there are no options. Right now, Mercury and Sag and the dark moon and Sag is like, there's options. No, there will not be. It's like Bane in Batman. This would be the last thing I say because I got to go. Hello. You know how he's like, and you all are going, when he sends Batman down to the jail, right? He sends Bruce Wayne. He's like, you will be down in where I was in hell. This is, do you want to try and crawl out of that motherfucking jail? That's this. And I'm not going to tell you that you can't. I'm just going to tell you that it's going to be the steepest climb of your life to get out of situations that you are embedding yourself in. Imagine getting drenched in concrete and having it dry. I'm not going to tell you that it's not impossible to get all that off you, but having a jackhammer close to your junk or your lady parts, not going to be a fun feeling. So this Mercury and Sag needs to actually get a grip on the galactic center and listen to the message and fucking before it gets to Capricorn and squares Chiron goes, I don't want it to look like this. Well, guess what? It's like, this is to save your ass and to get to the reason that you were born here. I love you all very much. Make sure that you check out this awesome New Year's Eve event we got going on, the Era of Providence. We got so many awesome people here. We got Jackson Lannis. We got Stargirl, the Practical Witch. We got Dylan, the Spirit Advisor. We got Dr. Steven Schwartz. We got other special events going on. We got Q&A. We got Vibe Beds. We got VR with me. We got spiritual dance music. I'm doing a 3-hour lecture. All these other people are doing awesome lectures. We got exclusive Q&A with Stargirl. We got so much going on. You're not going to want to miss it. Be here at the studios to be part of the party. We got champagne toast, we got food, we got drinks, we got all the experiences for you, and we got the awesome seats, and we got the whole venue, of course, to watch it and be part of it and be part of it with us. Make sure you check it out right now. Ticket info is at highlive.tv. And if you want to be on the live stream, do not miss it. We are throwing a party. If you're going to be at home, chilling at home, or you want to have a home party and you want to have the TV on and you could be watching it. And then you know me, I'm going to be throwing spiritual dance music. It's going to be a blast. Do not miss it. Check it out, highvibe.tv. All the link info is there. I appreciate you all so much on YouTube. I want to say, I know I've been real serious today because I have to. That's the job right now. But I want to say I love you all very much. I appreciate you all for appreciating me and the deep astrology and everybody on the high vibe. And you know, this has been a journey for me this decade. I love you all so much for following me from when I was David Palmer Astrology, sitting with a laptop, homeless, to right now sitting on the high vibe TV stage as the Leo King, but part of a community and a family that wants to give light and love to all of you and have you all be part of it without a cult experience where we are all individuals and we are all part of the collective. And it's amazing. And I am so thankful because this wouldn't have happened without all of you. And the greatest gift I've ever been given on my life, on my Jupiter return, is this moment right now. I love you all very much, and I appreciate you. I wish you the best holidays. You'll be seeing me a lot with a lot of stuff in the next week here with all this stuff. We will always be here for you as high vibers, because that's what I consider myself, and I consider the Leo King a high viber. And I just want to say that high vibe will always be with you on the Leo King channel that you watch with amazing content, always bringing you some sort of astrology that's deep. I will never just throw you into the dust. Never. I love you all very much. Subscribe today. You can access everything. We'd love to see you at the event. And we'll see you on the next Deep Astrology. And we're doing spiritual dance music right now. Bye.